Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me.
Hey.
Your organization is looking stressed.
What?
And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed. And now that you haters
Episode 31. We are here. Welcome into the Rewind, brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. The captain is here, Monty Moss, alongside my partner, Bryant, Garvin. My co-host will be joining momentarily. We're back again, giving it to you guys live. Shout out to my guy, Chris, 1990 Studios, for all the work he does for us on a week in and week out basis. Subscribe and like to our channel on YouTube at the Rewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at the Rewind_GSC3. I'm also in a good mood, but I damn sure am not in a great mood because, of course, we'll be breaking down Michigan's loss on the road Saturday night, 0-1 against Oklahoma this year, 1-1 on the season. Freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood, but we got a great lineup for you guys tonight. Great episode. Let's get Bryant in here. 4-time state champion, over 400 career wins in his co-head coaching career. Coached both football and basketball. He is also in the Newark Hall of Fame. With the Tom Landry look once again, week 2. Bryant, what's good? Episode 31.
Look, it's just good to be here. I can let off some damn steam because what a hell of a night. But I got a long road ahead of me. But this kind of relieves some damn issues. But
That
anyhow,
A game tonight, right?
well, I'm gonna bring a B game, C game, but it's not gonna be an F game. I'll tell you that.
Before we get started with tonight's episode, of course, tomorrow we'll embark on the 9/11 anniversary, 25 years to the day tomorrow, with the massacre that took place. I just wanted to give a special love and a shout out to all of the families that lost their loved ones on that day of 2001. Bryant, where were you exactly on the day of 9/11? Do you remember?
I do. I was at your school at that time. Wasn't in Eastside High School at that time.
Nope.
On the 4th floor, and I actually watched it happen. The second plane that hit the towers during that time on the 4th floor. You can easily see New York from Eastside High School. So that was something that kind of shocked the world. And so I went home and basically got Jayla from daycare. And that's the first time I ever got to Somerset, New Jersey in 20 minutes because there were 0 cars on the highway. 0. And no cars, no police, no nothing. I think I got there. I was going like 120. And I was like this, well, the hell with it. Let me just go as fast as I can because there's nobody here and I'm not going to hit anybody on the road. So I got there in 20 minutes, and that's normally a 40-minute ride.
Safe to say, Bryant has fractioned the law on occasion, but we won't talk about that. So we're sending out love and prayers on tomorrow's anniversary of 9/11. But Bryant, we got a really great, legendary guest. WNBA playoffs is next week. Know that. Right around the corner. And we got someone we are blessed to be in the presence of greatness to bring this individual on to talk about the WNBA and a little bit of a preview of the WNBA playoffs, but here's to come. But our special guest that's joining us tonight is a former professional basketball player, University of Kansas alum, 1993 to 97. She was the 1997 Big 8 Player of the Year in 1996. First team All Big 8 in 1996, as well as the Big 12 Player of the Year when they transitioned from Big 8 to Big 12. First team All Big 12 in 1997. 1997 WNBA draft, 14th pick in the second round by who? The Los Angeles Sparks. In the league from 1997 to 2012, 3-time WNBA All-Star, 2-time WNBA champion, 2001, 2002, 2001 All WNBA second team, All-American as well, 2002 FIBA World Championship representing who? Team USA. Averaged 14 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 119 games played. For the Jayhawks in her college career, senior year, she averaged 20 points a game. That was the highest she scored throughout her college career for the Kansas Jayhawks, scored a total of 624 her senior year alone, shot 45% from the field, 34% from behind the arc, retired from the WNBA, called it quits in 2012, went out on her own terms. Not a lot of players have that privilege to do that. Tamika currently is the current Lyndon girls high school basketball coach in where? New Jersey, if you didn't know. So supporting her as she will enter year 2 this upcoming season for the Lady Lyndon basketball team here in New Jersey. Bryant knows a thing or two about the Lyndon basketball high school team on the boys side, from, of course, his rivalry days from our very own coach, Philip Colicchio, who we had on the podcast episodes ago. Blessed us with his presence as well. I'm happy to see Bryant and Phil make up after the years of F-bombs and middle fingers and wins and losses, state championships, playoff games, you name it, they've done it. So we're glad to have her. Let's bring her on. Tamecka Dixon, WNBA legend, of course, soon to be Lyndon High School legend when it's all said and done, as she slowly gets to rebuild this Lyndon girls basketball program. But Tamecka, we are blessed and honored to have you join us on episode 31, The Rewind. Thank you for taking the time. Special shout out to our girl, Philip Cox, who helped us out with bridging the gap to bring Tamecka on. I was fortunate enough to meet Miss Tamecka probably a month and a half or 2 months ago. Wally Dixon had his grand opening in Woodbridge Mall. If you guys don't know, you guys can check it out. Follow him on social media. Rachel introduced Tamecka and I. Me and her had a conversation, told her about the platform. She's a big Randy Foye fan, as you can see Bryant has behind him. And she said, let's make it happen. Fast forward, here she is. So Tamecka, thanks for joining us to Rewind. How are you?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. I'm blessed. Happy to be here. Happy to spend some time with y'all tonight.
Happy to spend some time with us indeed. Brian, you got something?
Yeah, this is my partner behind me while I'm on that side. That's Junior in the back. Got the big swollen head. That's my little guy. So he keeps me poised. On this show, because I know Monty get a little bit embarrassed by the stuff I got to say, and this kind of relieves some stress. So Junior back here, whichever side he's on, he's going to help me out tonight.
Sounds
we
good.
got a good one for you guys. Tamecka, of course, knows the WNBA better than probably anyone here between Bryant and myself, even though Bryant isn't the greatest of WNBA fans, so support this year because he's constantly all over the place. But I keep up with the game from start to finish, and I've been on this platform to talk about the WNBA, the rise of it, of course, the momentum that came into this year with the Unrivaled League in year 1 with Nafisa Collier and her husband Alex, who did a great job. But WNBA talk, Tamecka, let's get into it. The best team in the WNBA, as well as the best team in the Western Conference, that's the Minnesota Lynx at 33-10, number 1. Finishing the year at the top, number 1 seed in the Western Conference playoffs, as the WNBA playoffs will kick off next week. Last 10 games, they are 5-5. Ended the season with an 83-72 loss against Indiana. But we were making an argument earlier in the first half of the season of Nafisa Collier being the MVP. Yes, safe to say that. But in the second half of the year, she took an injury which sidelined her for a few weeks in August for the Minnesota Lynx. But 23 points a game, 7 rebounds. They were 19-2 at home this year. That's the best home record in the WNBA. 14-8 on the road, 19-4 in the conference. Playoffs begin next week, as I brought up, Tamecka. But for you, how impressed have you been with Nafisa Collier as well as the Minnesota Lynx this year in WNBA play action in the West?
Listen. The impression for me started last season. I thought Nafisa had an amazing season last year, and she just brought it into this year. And so I'm excited to see what Minnesota does. I mean, they were right there at the cusp of winning a championship last year. So I think if the pieces land right and she stays healthy throughout the playoff run, I think they have a very, very good chance of getting a chip this year.
Yeah, safe to say health will be the concern for the Minnesota Lynx, especially with Nafisa. But you have to give your hats off to her supporting cast, Caitlyn McBride, averaging 14 points a game. Courtney Williams holding things down, also averaging 13. Her supporting cast from Alana Smith, a forward for the Lynx, who's been the front court defensive marksman for the Lynx this year, has also been amazing. Minnesota Lynx, yes, they started off hot. Second half of the season without Nafisa, they struggled a little bit, but they were still able to finish the season, finishing 5-5 in their last 10. So I look forward to WNBA playoffs. How far do you think the Minnesota Lynx can go with them locking up the number 1 seed?
Listen, you always this is what you shoot for. You want the number one seed so you can have a little bit of a smoother route. But I think the parity in the WNBA this year has been amazing. So even locking up that number one seed doesn't give you any real security. You still got to go and play the games. But I do like their chances. I think if they stay healthy, I think with the addition of like Dejanay Carrington, providing a defensive presence there, they're going to put themselves in a good position if they stay healthy. I really, really believe that. Like I said, they were knocking on the door last year. So, if they stay healthy, I think they're playing really, really well.
Well, Tamika, I will say, if you didn't know, there's another team in the West who's a threat, if not the team that can beat them if they somehow can meet in the Western Conference Finals to advance to the WNBA Finals, and that's the Las Vegas Aces, who have been red hot in the second half of the WNBA season. 11-10 at the All-Star break. Not 11-10. They were 11-11, just at 500. Second half of the year, their last loss of the second half of the season was against the Minnesota Lynx when they got blown up by 53 points at home. Becky Hammond has got this team revamped and remotivated. I should say a 15-game win streak. That is the best win streak so far in the WNBA in the second half. Fifth longest streak in WNBA history. Of course, your 2001 Los Angeles Sparks had the record at 18. But 29-14, best record, as I mentioned, 15-game winning streak, 10-0 in the last 10, 17-5 at home. A'ja Wilson's been leading this charge, averaging over 28 points during this 15-game win streak. Let's just call it for what it is right now. Give the MVP award to her. Four-time WNBA MVP. I'm just going to speak it into existence. She already is a three-time right now, but if my vote is in and your vote is in and Bryant's vote is in, I think we all can agree that A'ja is this year's MVP. No question about it. Double machine, been kicking ass and taking names, but she does have a sidekick. She does have a Batman along with her Robin, and that's Jackie Young, averaging over 16 points a game. Jackie Young has been having a great year 7, WNBA All-Star this year. Jackie's just been playing phenomenal for the Los Angeles Vegas, not also on the offensive end, but Becky Hammond has praised her on the defensive side, guarding the best opposing player night in and night out, and the Aces deserve it. They have been flaming hot. No one in the league has been able to stop them, and that's the momentum that you need to carry going into the playoffs starting next week for the Aces. But let's just call it for what it is. The recent play from the Aces and the job that Becky Hammond has done has been far none. No team has been able to catch up that. But, Tamika, at some point this hot streak eventually goes to a close. WNBA playoffs, you're 0-0. No matter what happens in the regular season, does not matter. But with what you have seen from the Aces, averaging over 83 points a game during this 15-game win streak, how dangerous can this Aces team be in the WNBA playoffs starting next week?
I would never, ever count A'ja out. A'ja, Jackie Young, and Chelsea Gray. Oh, man, formidable team. I think they're in a great position in the fact that they're, like you said, 15-game win streak or whatever they are on now. This is what you want. You want to play your best at the end of the season and going into the playoffs. So they're there. I think Becky did an amazing job of making some adjustments. I always thought, the issue with them was on the defensive end. I think now, the girls are really buying into the defensive strategy that she has set for them. And as you can see, that's starting to take off. And I thought they also had there was some new additions with Jewel Lloyd and trying to figure out where she fits into it. And now she's coming off the bench and providing a heck of a spark. So her presence off the bench, and I think Naylissa Smith is a good addition for them. But where Vegas concerns me is their bench depth. Once you get into that 7th, 8th, 9th player, it's going to be a little tough. So I want to see, what adjustments Becky makes in the playoffs with that, because as you advance, that's going to be key.
Can't wait. Bryant, let me come to you real quick, because you've been a big fan of Napheesa Collier in the first half of the season, but then you switched sides and you were a fan of A'ja Wilson in the second half of the season. But the WNBA regular season is over as of tonight. Tonight's last game is over with. Teams get to rest as we prepare. The bracket's already out in terms of who will play what in the playoffs. If you had the last vote, 99-99. Your vote gets the winner. Who is your 2025 WNBA MVP of this year? Is it Nafisa Collier or are you going A'ja Wilson?
Hey, I'm going A'ja Wilson, man. Come on, I have to. She's the best dancer that she got going on. She can, she's on the sideline. Say, oh, there's the coach. they can do their thing. She's a dominant player, man. She's going to step up her game even more. During the playoffs, she want to bring that trophy. That's without saying, man. I know she'll kick my ass at this age, so it is what it is. She's a dominant player, and I love her game. I love how she plays. But you already know Paige Beckers is my best point guard out there. It's just what it is. I don't care how you say it. Paige Beckers is my best all-around point guard. And I know Tamika going to agree with me too.
No, she's not. No, she's not. Because you know why?
Her skill set is tough as hell. I don't care what you say.
You know who's a better all-around guard than Paige Beckers? Jackie Young. Thank you. The best two-way player in the WNBA. Name me a better player. Can you?
Hey,
you can't.
Look,
best two-way player in WNBA. Hands down.
I'm not going to deny that, but I said that's Paige Beckers as a rookie. Paige Buckets is my best all-around player because the things that she can do coming in as a rook after an injury. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on.
Gotta get hats off. Definitely hats off.
That's the first take he's got right in 9 weeks. Congratulations, Bryant. You broke the losing streak. Tamika, I'll come to you. Let me ask you this two-part question. Have you seen a player of this particular dominance from your days playing in the WNBA that we have been fortunate to see from A'ja Wilson? Not also this year alone with the amazing 23-9 that she's averaged, double-double in the last 15 games during the win streak, 28 points a game. With the style of play that you see from A'ja, is there a player from your time that gives you glimpses of how A'ja plays, or is A'ja just in the class of her own?
I would say Lisa. My teammate Lisa Leslie had a string similar to that. A'ja reminds me a lot of her, but Lisa started developing her outside game a little later. A'ja can step out and shoot that thing a little bit more efficient and effective at this point. So, Lisa's definitely a good comparison, Lisa Leslie.
So who is your 2025 WNBA MVP this year?
Definitely A'ja. I thought it was a good race though. Alyssa Thomas played phenomenal. I think if her Phoenix team was a little better, record wise, you'd have to look at her that way too. But I think A'ja's playing just amazing right now, and if Nafisa didn't get hurt, it'd be interesting to see.
Close.
It'd be really, really close. How they would, it'd be really, really interesting to see how they vote there if she hadn't gotten injured. But you can't deny A'ja right now,
no,
for sure.
I got a thing to ask you this question. Ever since Caitlyn Clark was injured, the media basically dove on the WNBA. The coverage has not been there. It hasn't been that promo of women's basketball. Why do you think that's so?
It's interesting. I really don't know why that is so. I have my theories that I probably won't share. But it's interesting because when I'm looking at the Indiana Fever, like Kelsey Mitchell to me is the premier player to me for the Fever. I mean, Caitlyn makes, she does a lot of things to help them, but I think, in a lot of games they played better without Caitlyn. So it's interesting to see, that dynamic play out and why the media isn't covering it as much. And, but, Caitlyn comes with a lot, she comes with a lot of fanfare, a lot of, new fans followed her into the league. So, with her injury, it did hurt, viewership a little bit, but not much. I
Now,
think, people.
now I
Go
was
ahead.
sitting here saying, and I know we a little bit off script a little bit, but I was sitting
Yeah.
up here telling Monty, I said in a previous episode that we had, I forgot, maybe 15 or 16, and I was sitting there saying, I was telling him, I said, look, Caitlyn Clark is going to get hurt playing the way she's playing. I
Yeah.
said that. I said it literally, because when you're coaching for so many years, you can sit there and understand athletes and their mobility and how they actually perform doing a high intense impact. So basketball is basically a contact sport. But yet
Right.
the way she plays, and she plays standing straight up, I told him, I said, man, eventually she's going to wear and tear something, because she's going to have to dig in and dig deep. Little do you know, 2 to 3 weeks later, bang.
Yep. It's so true. So true. Her style.
And I know it.
Yep.
I saw it coming. I said, you can't play all these games, 35, 40, 45 games. You just can't do it. I've seen it. In high school, we went all the way to the championship in several years, and we played 35 games. And I've gotten guys hurt. I had one guy tear his ACL on some freak stuff, and things happen over that time. If you playing on different surfaces, everyone's stadium's built different, the whole nine. So when you're playing in a non-athletic position, knees bent, I used to call it Z and E's. When you don't play that way, and then now you have to all of a sudden play that way because you got to play harder, because these girls are playing hard, you're going to wind up tearing something. And that's exactly what. And it's going to be hard to come back from a groin.
It is.
Those things are not, it's not
hamstring issues. So those are the worst injuries to try to come back from.
Yes. Sometimes you would rather tear something and come back from it. Those freaking hamstrings and groin pulls, they bother you your entire career.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The good thing about it is that she'll have an entire offseason to heal. Indiana, of course, won't be that much of a difference maker without her. They haven't been winning. We talk about Kelsey Mitchell, but I also want to shine a light on Aaliyah Boston, who's 5th in the league currently in rebounds. She's had a great year this season for the Indiana Fever, who's also was one of Caitlyn's sidekicks. But Aaliyah Thomas, can't take anything from her. She led the league in assists this year, averaged over 9 a game. Caitlyn Clark at one point, beginning of the year, led the league in assists. That slowly went away when she got injured. But we have an exciting WNBA playoffs to come up. But we talk about expansions. This is the first time an expansion team has been introduced to the WNBA in the last 17 years, and that's the Golden State Valkyries. I think overall the Golden State Valkyries have been one of the most exciting teams to talk about this year. Not a lot of people had them at this point in the season to be in the playoffs. I know early in the year, I've heard a lot of chatter, especially early on when we started talking about WNBA, that they weren't going to be that good. But fast forward, they are good. And they have a ticket punch to the WNBA playoffs this year. And they're 23-10, 4th in the West. First year being the Spanish team, as I brought up, Coach Tameka Dixon is a favorite right now. And in my opinion, yes, the Aces have a 15-game winning streak, hottest in the WNBA. But this right here, the Coach of the Year definitely needs to go to Coach Nikasi, because it's just been something that has been exciting for the league. And let's not sleep here. Golden State has been a team that plays hard night in and night out, and they beat a lot of really good quality teams this year. So, Tamika, what does this mean for the WNBA with having a team like Golden State? We know some more expansion teams are getting ready to come, with Detroit Shock coming back. Philadelphia is getting their own WNBA team, as well as Cleveland. But what's your takeaway from Golden State Valkyries in year one, with them being a team in the WNBA from the first year in 17 years as an expansion?
First off, hats off to Coach Natalie. What an amazing job. And, coming from Becky's coaching tree, it's good to see. It's good to see her, just succeed at the level that she did. I, like you, didn't think that Golden State would be very good this year, but they have, the one thing that they do is play extremely hard. Like, they play hard. So I was very impressed with what they did this year. I'm looking forward to what they got going on in the playoffs. And it does give you something for the expansion teams that's coming on board. If they can have this type of success that Golden State did, we're gonna have a really, really good league.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see with the WNBA playoffs kicking around the corner on September the 14th, 1 p.m. starting on ESPN. I will be locked in, glued. Here's the current bracket. We got Minnesota at 1 going against Seattle Storm at 8. Phoenix and New York Liberty, that's going to be an interesting series. Then we fast forward to the other side. We got Atlanta and Indiana. I expect Atlanta to clean house on Indiana, even though Atlanta will somehow, some ways, give a game to Indiana. I think that's just what it's going to be. And then, of course, if the Aces sadly have to go against Golden State. I would hate to see Golden State be out in the first round, but Aces right now the hottest team in the league. But looking at this, Tamika, let's just get an early preview. Which series are you looking most forward to watch, both in the East and in the West?
I love that Seattle, Minnesota series, and I love that Vegas, Golden State series. I think both of them are going to be decent series. Seattle now is coming on late, starting to play really well. They have some good young pieces there. Golden State, you can't really count out. Like I said, They play really, really hard. So it's going to be interesting to see. Atlanta and Indiana, I do think that's going to be Atlanta's going to win it, but I think Indiana's going to battle. I think Kelsey and Aaliyah Boston will definitely have Indiana in a few games. New York and Phoenix should be a good one too, but I do think New York is going to win that pretty easily.
Yes, let me get you and Brian's quick prediction. WNBA Finals, what team do you have meeting in the finals this year, as well as who are you guys crowning as a 2025 WNBA champion? Tamika, I'll start with you first.
I would say Minnesota for sure. I think Minnesota's going to beat New York this year. So it's going to be a battle. I think with a healthy Nafisa. But let me say this: New York with Emma, I think the piece that they was missing was Emma Meeseman. So they added Emma Meeseman late. And I think she's going to be a huge addition. So I was really gung-ho on giving Minnesota the chip this year, but with New York's addition to Emma Meeseman, it's going to be a struggle. But I think Minnesota's going to win it all.
Ooh, no, she didn't just say Minnesota going to win it all.
I do.
Bryant, can I get in? Can I get in this, or you want to get in? You want me to get in this? Because I'm ready.
I'm going to go with New York because Minnesota. When you walk into that city, it makes you want to go to sleep. That city is so dead, especially when it hits around November. It gets cold as shit. It's like negative 45 in November. It's just really bad. I don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there, and nobody damn sure don't want to go to a game around that November time. I'm glad they probably don't stretch to that point. But it's probably freezing right now at this point. New York, I'm going to take New York to win it all. You got to have it home. New York needs something to celebrate because, with the men, they always get their ass kicked every single time. So they haven't been in a playoff since my daddy was born.
So you got the Liberty going back to back. You got Liberty going back to back.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. You have to freaking defend your championship. No question.
Well, it'll be interesting to see between the playoffs from both East and West. For me, I'm going to have Minnesota. I'm going to get straight to it. Minnesota and Liberty will meet in the Eastern Conference Finals or semifinals, I should say. I'm going to go with Minnesota. I think this year they'll have their number. They were able to split this year in the regular season, but Minnesota healthy, hands down. I know New York has got some killers. They got Newskill, they got Stewart, they got Jonquel Jones, they have Natasha Cloud. They got some killers, but Minnesota – anybody that can defend Nafisa Collier, oh, wait, you can't, because when she's averaging 26 a game, 27 a game in the playoff series, Minnesota leagues are hard to beat. So I'm going to just be a fan favorite in the perfect world. I'd love to see Minnesota and the Aces get it on in the finals. I think those are the two best teams in the league. New York Liberty being my dark horse, of course. But in the finals, I just don't know. I love to see the best of the best go at it, and that's Afisa Collier versus Asia Wilson. And they both squads both have great supporting cast. And I'm just going to go with it because they're on a 15-game winning streak. I think that momentum, it does die down when they play Golden State because eventually, Golden State will be able to make some adjustments to Vegas Aces. They'll struggle a little bit, but they should have no problem getting past them in the first round as well as Atlanta. I'm taking the Aces as my 2025 WNBA champion. Don't kill me, Tamika. Don't kill me. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. I didn't say Minnesota. I said the Aces. Becky Hammond, 2025 WNBA MVP, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. Let's go get a championship, baby. Let's switch some gears, Tamika. Let's talk about your Lyndon girls basketball team. Of course, you are getting ready to enter year 2. In year 1, you were 13-13, finished 7-3 in your last 10. That's including the Union County tournament as well as the states last year. That's a tremendous record to finish 7-3. You guys were hot in between the middle of that season. But let's talk about you entering year 2. Of course, I know you're excited with you and your staff getting ready to gear up for year 2. But talk to us a little bit about what your summer has been for this girls basketball team in terms of recruiting, and what are some of the things that you're excited for as you get ready to take your girls into year 2 under your regime.
So I'm extremely excited about year 2. Year 1, I joined late. I was hired late, so wasn't really able to put in a summer program and get them ready like I wanted to. This year, we hit the ground running. We had a really, really good summer season. While we were in the summer league, we worked out very heavily. The girls were completely committed to it. So I am excited. I think we grew, we learned, we got better. I'm excited for year 2. I think we'll be much better than we were last year. The girls are starting to understand what Coach Meek wants. The sky's really the limit. We're going to be pretty good this year.
Bryant, I got to go to one of these practices. I'm telling you that right now. I need to see the intensity. I need to see the discipline. I need to see the attention to detail. I think in year 2, personally, when you have someone like a legend like Tamekka Dixon is able to put her DNA from the beginning, from off seasons to fall ball to beginning of the year, Lyndon's going to be a tough team to beat this year, Brian. I hope you agree with me.
I don't want to step into nobody's high school gyms anymore. I'm done. Especially that one. Bad shit will happen in that one. You already down by 10 in that one. Now I don't care who coaches there. You're down by 10, and if you have an official by the name of Brian Scipio that looks like Junior, right there, Brian Scipio. He's got to be the worst official because every game that I watch him officiate, the team will win or lose by 2. It never fails, and he'll wind up sending them overtime. I can predict whatever he does. I'm like, look, watch this game is won or lost by 2, and it happens every game I went and go watch him officiate. I think the guy it just basically mentally just thrives off that type of shit. It makes no sense to sit there and keep games close so he can run up and down and get some fucking exercise and start sweating profusely. That don't make no goddamn sense. See, this is why I don't want to go in nobody's gym. Because you get me like this.
Episode 31 brought to you by Global Sports. We're going to have to... Sometimes he goes off the rails, Tamika. He's been retired. He's been out the game for a while. But he has the privilege to say this because he's been coaching for over 30 years. He's had the privilege to see the best and the worst of what New Jersey officials have to offer. And I got to say after that, Tamika, we're wishing you the best of luck this upcoming year. I will be at one of your games. I'll be at multiple, but I need some Lyndon girls merch. I won't wear men's, of course.
You better not.
I need a medium. I need to be at the practice. I can't wait. Wish you the best of luck for the upcoming 25-26 season. Let's go kick some ass, baby. Let's go Lyndon girls basketball. Now,
let's go.
Public service announcement. We know you are a Dallas Cowboys fan. Our producer, Chris, who is also sadly a miserable, disgusting Dallas Cowboys fan. Let's get into it. Last Thursday, we had the Week 1 opener between the Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions, at home against your Dallas Cowboys, along with Chris. 24-20 was your final. I said last week that the Cowboys defense will struggle to get Philadelphia off the field on third down. Boy, is that wrong. But if you didn't know, there was a rain delay. There was a thunderstorm delay. The teams came out at midnight. The game was over damn near 1 a.m. Philadelphia was able to pull away from it. Jalen Hurts was able to get it done on the ground with his legs, scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. Dak Prescott, 21-34, 188 yards passing, didn't throw a touchdown, no interception, even though last week I said that he would. Boy, is that wrong. But yet, we get to wait for week 2. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 110 yards. The final drive of that game in the fourth quarter dropped 2 key passes that he has said in his post-game press conference he wished he can get back. But that is also fuel to the fire for him to keep getting better, which he will. 307 yards total on offense. Jalen Hurts, 19-23, 152 yards passing, 62 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns. Of course, as I said, Dallas front 4, front 5, front 6, front 7, middle linebacker. They won't be able to get to Jalen Hurts. He was able to get outside the pocket multiple times. Yes, got in the end zone twice. I'll take it anytime touchdown score. Didn't I say that last week, Chris? I know I did. Don't tell me I didn't. Saquon Barkley, 18 carries, 60 yards rushing. Cowboys defense did a great job. I'll give them credit publicly. They did a great job to limit Saquon Barkley explosiveness to break outside the tackles and get upfield, holding them to 75 yards, under 75 yard rushing. That's a great job by Dallas defense. Let's see if that carries on. 310 total yards on offense for the Eagles. Bryant, I'll start with you before I get to Tamika because I want to give the Cowboy the last say on what she's going to say. But, Bryant, give me your takeaway from the Eagles win Thursday night at home against the Cowboys.
I don't like games like this when they get interrupted twice, halftime, and then rain delays, because it just kind of throws off the thunder. I would tell you about the Eagles' defense, which I was disappointed. Their secondary is very weak. It's not as strong as it was last year. They have some holes in their secondary. The front 7 that still looks pretty much standable. Has a lot of stamina, and they're going to do what they do. But, this is a throwing league. So if I'm the Eagles, I'm going to have some worries in the secondary and see if they can cover some guys, because those guys were wide open. And you gave the Cowboys some confidence. And, are the Cowboys good? Are they not good? It's hard to tell right now, because I thought the Eagles were that type of stud defense. But they lost some. I think they lost some players in the secondary, and it's starting to show. Those 1 or 2 corners are not as talented as they were before. And, I think they're just going to have some mishaps throughout the season. Do they make it back to the Super Bowl? They possibly can, but do they win it this year? I don't think so.
Yeah, no Darius Slay in the secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. And, of course, losing Jalen Carter and before the game even started was spitting on Dak Prescott. That was the mistake that shouldn't have happened. He did dodge a bullet. He is not serving a multiple game suspension. He is fined by the NFL. But recapping from this, before I give it to Tamika, Philadelphia did a great job. I thought they lost a lot of gas once they came back from the rain delay in the third quarter, only putting up 3 points in the fourth quarter. They weren't able to move the ball effectively. They didn't put any points on the board, but credit to Dallas. They were able to get stops on third down when it mattered most, giving Dak Prescott the opportunity to go win the game. And no better spot to be in on the game-winning drive, potential game-winning drive, to either get the field goal or go for the win. I believe they needed to win because they were down 24-20 at the time. Dak Prescott played solid in that fourth quarter drive, that last drive. CeeDee Lamb dropping those 2 key passes, that hurt Dallas. But credit to Dallas, they were able to mix things up offensively. I did like the play calling. Mostly they're really aggressive, taking advantage of the Philly secondary, find those key holes. Zach Bryan for the Eagles did have 9 tackles for the Eagles, but that just wasn't enough. So credit to Philadelphia. They're able to come out with an ugly win. It wasn't the best win, but in the National Football League, a win is a win. They're one of those start the year. Week 2 coming up this Sunday, and Dallas will look to rebound, I should say, from Week 1's loss against Philly. But Tamika, give me your reaction to the Dallas Cowboys losing. And one more thing I want to ask you in particular, because I know it's got to be frustrating. You've been dealing with Jerry Jones nonsense since the 90s, from Jerry Jones bringing in Jimmy Johnson, then feeling some type of way about Jimmy Johnson flirting with the Jacksonville Jaguars when they got first introduced to the league. He thought Jimmy Johnson wasn't loyal. Then you had Emmitt Smith contract negotiations. They didn't get it done until after week 2. paid the man $13.5 million, making him the highest paid running back in the league at the time. Fast forward to Dak Prescott, paying him. Then CeeDee Lamb last year. Now we go into this upcoming offseason before the season started. Micah Parsons wants a deal done. He deserved to get a deal done. 26 years old. Jerry wanted to make him the highest paid player in the league. Trying to backdoor Micah by not talking to him while his agent is obviously being there. He gets paid to do that. Back and forth, Daddy versus Junior. Now he's traded to the Green Bay Packers, the worst team you could trade him to for two first-round picks and Carter, defensive tackle. Give me your reaction from Micah Parsons trade, but first give me your recap and break and takeaway from Dallas losing on Thursday night 24-20 to Philadelphia.
Well, first off, I'm encouraged. I didn't know what we were going to look like going into the season. So I'm encouraged. I'm optimistic and encouraged about what I've seen. We're not really talking about the Miles Sanders fumble before CD had the two opportunities, had his hand on the ball. So I thought, we make one or two of them plays, we win that game. So I'm encouraged. But this whole Mike Parsons thing, I'm hurt. I mean, I thought early on in the game it clearly showed because we just really didn't have a pass rush, didn't really get our hands on Hurts at all. In the beginning of the game, in the start of the game. So we'll see. I mean, you're not going to really be able to gauge how this trade is going to play out until you see what the first round picks get you and all of that. But I mean, you're trading away a generational talent, which I think Micah is, and has shown that and has proved that he deserved a contract worthy. So we'll see. I mean, Jerry always plays his games and I'm tired of it. I'm sure I can speak for every Cowboys fan that we are all tired of it. We want Jerry to sit in the box, hire the right people, and just enjoy the rest of the, life he has left. And stop doing this. But obviously, we can't make that call. So, every year, us Cowboys fans, we go up and down with them. But we'll see. I'm encouraged about what I saw the first game.
Well, what I will say, Tamika, is that there's a team that looked just as bad, if not bad, in week one, and that's the New York Giants, who you got this Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. Cowboys damn sure better go out there and take care of business, because you lose to this dysfunctional, unorganized offense with Russell Wilson at quarterback on Sunday and you 0-2, there's going to be some questions. There's going to be some major questions.
For sure.
Let's get your quick pick. What are your expectations this year for the Cowboys in the NFC East? The NFC East did improve. When I talk about the Eagles, I think they are a contender to get back to the NFC Championship. I look at the Washington Commanders adding Deebo Samuel, bringing in a veteran like Von Miller on that defense. Commanders got better. Giants, I don't feel they either progress or they didn't do it. Just the Giants. That's just what it is. And I hate the Giants as a New England Patriot fan, but that's a story for another day. So I got the Cowboys somewhere right in that mix in the NFC East, but what are your expectations for your Dallas Cowboys this year?
I do have them, at first, when I was looking at all the transactions and everything they were doing and you really didn't know what was going on, I was saying 500, a game or two or 500. I'm encouraged. We'll see. I think with what I saw, I think we will be in that battle with the Commanders and in that battle with the Eagles. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think we're worried too much about the Giants.
Are you saying like that's a dub, that's a win, 1-1 Sunday?
Yeah, I think so. I'll be hurt if not. I can't go outside if we don't. But, I do think we have enough to beat them.
That's for damn sure. Bryant, safe to say Cowboys 1-1 on Sunday beating the Giants, no?
The East Side High School can beat the Giants, and they don't even have a team. They don't even have a football team. They are so bad. I saw Russ throw the ball. He threw this shit in the stands almost. I was like this. All right, what am I watching here? Put the young kid in there. You might as well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Keep losing?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong at this point. You got two quarterbacks that They can't do anything. You might as well go ahead and start all over. You got a coach out there that nobody respects. The locker room is lost. You got a receiver that didn't even want to shake his hand. Like, what are we doing?
Malik Neighbors needs somebody to throw the ball to him consistently, and Jackson Dart had a really good preseason campaign. At some point, I do expect the Giants to insert him sooner rather than later, in my opinion, especially if you want to get some experience under him. But no better mentor to have in the quarterback room, and that's Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion. Tamika, real quick before we let you go, give us your Super Bowl prediction. Don't say the Cowboys. It ain't happening. It ain't happening right now. Give us your Super Bowl prediction, as well as who do you think is winning the Lombardi Trophy this year?
I haven't even thought that far. I haven't even thought about who's going to win the chip. But I think the Eagles will be there. The Lions surprised me. They didn't display, I think, what they wanted to display this first week. But it's the first week, so we'll see how they turn. Yeah, first week, still early. But I always thought that they were well coached and had a good team. So, they could potentially be there. But I think it's wide open. It's a lot of it's a lot of parity at the top. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see indeed. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
We'll see what happens. Tamika picks are in. She's yet to give us an answer, but we'll find a way, somehow, some way before the season is over. WNBA playoffs, I know you're excited. It's coming back next Sunday. We're wishing you the best of luck this upcoming year with your girls' Lyndon basketball team. Go out there, kick some ass, and take some names. The state championship is yours. Bryant, from an experienced coach to a upcoming second-year head coach, what coaching advice would you give to her for this upcoming season?
Don't let up. She knows. She played pro. What am I going to tell her? She should be telling me.
Hey, look, you know New Jersey basketball better than anybody.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But don't let up. Force them to play as hard as they can. Do what you do best. You know what to do. You know what I mean? As a pro, you've seen how to push your girls to the limit. Keep them in the weight room during the season.
Mm-hmm.
Always keeping them. You know the deal. And keep them well conditioned so they can last that long. Go win it all.
Go win it all.
Appreciate that.
Micah, we love you. Thank you for blessing us with your presence as always. We will see each other, I'm sure, down the road. I love you. Thank you. WA playoffs around the corner. Legendary in the house. We love you. Thank you. And we hope to see you back on the Rewind soon at some point, maybe for the WNBA finals. We'll see. We love you. Focus. I know you got school year just begun. Wish you the best of luck to, of course, your student athletes, giving them the best opportunities for their future, as well as good luck for the rest of the way for this upcoming year. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Honor and bless. Grateful. Legend. We love you.
Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And Junior said goodbye.
The great Tamecka Dixon, former WNBA player, WNBA champion, Los Angeles Sparks, 0102, played with the great Lisa Leslie. I can go on with that Sparks roster, but we're blessed to have her come on, so thank you to her. Bryant, let's keep this train rolling, brother, because we get the breakdown and recap from Friday night's game after the Thursday night's game, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh, year 2 with the Chargers, 27-21 with your final. Justin Herbert. If you're a fantasy guy and you got Justin Herbert on your fantasy football team, what did he ball? 25-34, was effective with the ball, moved the ball really well against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, this offense is revamped now. This is not the high explosive, high scoring offense that we've seen from the Kansas City Chiefs in years past. Yes, we know that, of course, they have some players that are out on offensively with oh my God, I can't remember his name, Bryant. Shame on me. I just had it. He's suspended through the first few weeks of the season. Sorry, I will get better with time. But Bryant, this game was played in Brazil on a Friday. This was the last first position loss for the Chiefs dating back to 2023 season, week 16 against the Raiders. 17-game win streak, longest in the NFL over. Give me your breakaway from Jim Harbaugh's week 1 win in Brazil against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Look, I think he has the Rams the Rams and just got them going. I mean, this is the best I've ever seen them. I'm sorry, the Chargers. He has that team rolling. I was impressed by everything. I couldn't believe they came out firing on all cylinders, especially going over to Brazil to play that away from your home. It was just phenomenal. Justin Herbert just shocked the hell out of me. There's nothing, that I can say bad about that team. It just they look good. Kansas City look as good as they can possibly can look. I think they're getting older. They're aged. But at the end of the day, the Chargers, man, hey, I wish they kind of had. I wish they had LaDainian back there. That would have been even more explosive. But these guys, I'm impressed by them. Are they Super Bowl bound yet? No, not yet. But I see he's building it just like he did with Michigan. I see that, and I'm very impressed with what they've done so far.
Yeah, Brian, I think one of the biggest takeaways for me when I look at this Kansas City Chiefs-Chargers game was the loss of Xavier Worthy earlier on in the game, colliding with his own teammate, and which was Travis Kelce. And once he left the game, that kind of put a punch right in that offense, because Xavier Worthy has been Patrick Mahomes' top 2 target guy outside of Travis Kelce for the last 2 years. We know Xavier Worthy had a really good year last year for the Chiefs. Andy Reid trusts him more with the offense in the style and scheme that they run. You can put him in the backfield. You can line him up on the slot. You can run jet sweeps with him. But when it comes down to it, Bryant, Chargers were able to get the ball, get first downs on third downs. They had 22 first downs from this game, 7-13 on third down to be exact. 394 total yards on offense. That's really good against the Kansas City Chiefs team, because we know Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, they come at you in multiple different ways, and they were able to move the ball effectively. The Chargers were averaging 6 yards a play, 304 yards passing. Justin Herbert, what can't he do, right? What can't he do? 318 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the guy was just on fire offensively and got the game-winning play, the seal deal against the Chiefs, and that was the first down rushing where he slid for the first down. That sealed the deal. 27-21 was your final. Chargers moving on to week 2. Kansas City will look to bounce back this upcoming Sunday to knot up at 1-1. Public service announcement again. I want to give a special shout-out and a congratulations, I should say, to Chief Sally, my big brother, mentor on his lovely Las Vegas Raiders, 22-13 over my New England Patriots. Last week, I did say publicly that the New England Patriots are going to win at home, but just didn't work out that way. Pete Carroll got his first win as the new Las Vegas Raider head coach, so shout out to him. And I'm sure Brady somewhere is happy beating, of course, Coach Belichick's former team. So all one for the season. Steelers and Jets. God damn it. Let's talk about it. 34-22 was your final. Aaron Rodgers, better yet, a pissed off Aaron Rodgers, 22 of 30, 244-yard passing, 4 touchdowns in his first game against his old team. That's the New York Jets. Justin Fields was a Steeler last year. Aaron Rodgers was a Jet. They just swapped places. Of course, Russell Wilson is now the quarterback of the New York Giants. DK Metcalf in his first game as a Steeler, 4 receptions, 83 yards. Calvin Austin, 4 receptions, 70 yards, got in the end zone for a touchdown. If you're a Jet fan, you cannot be mad at the way Justin Fields play in this game right here. 16-22, 218 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Bryce Hall was just a monster on the ground against that run defense against the Steelers, which I was surprised, because very rare do you see the Steelers give up 100-plus yards rushing to an opposing running back. He had 107. Garrett Wilson, 7 receptions, 95 yards. If you don't remember, Ohio State fans, as well as everyone else in the world, Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson played together at Ohio State. That reunition connection looked like they just picked up right where they left off. 95 yards receiving. He did get in the end zone for a touchdown. But, Bryant, let's talk about this. Everyone in the Jets organization canceled and completely turned their head from Aaron Rodgers. Let's look back. Last 5 games, 6 games of the year for the Jets, he didn't play bad. His offensive line just sucked. I mean, he was able to bring in some pieces with Devontae Adams, But defensively, the Jets had a lot of holes. But in my opinion, I even said it myself prior to the season, regardless of where Aaron Rodgers goes, a pissed off Aaron Rodgers is bad for the league. And Mike Tomlin bringing in Aaron Rodgers this year, giving him that Steeler DNA, bringing him into what that organization is from top to bottom, having the culture that Mike Tomlin brings to the locker room. How shocked were you to see Aaron Rodgers' performance against his former team on week 1 against the New York Jets?
I really wasn't shocked because I think that if Aaron Rodgers would have stayed with the Jets with this new coaching staff, you would have had the same result. New with something new, he would have been like on fire. I think they would have clicked. In fact, I think the Jets probably would have won that game. I don't think that Justin Fields, by him staying with Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh would have lost that particular game. So it's a weird thing how that is. You swap quarterbacks, you flip flop, and that whole nine. But one would have still beat the other. I think the Jets would have won. I think Pittsburgh would have lost if Justin Fields would have stayed. I don't think they trust him enough and gave him the option to do what he needed to do. And I hated the fact that the way they did him when Justin Fields was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So swapping teams, new team, new personnel, old coach with Pittsburgh, I think it gave some comfortability to both quarterbacks, and basically they can showcase their talent with Justin Fields with something brand new, so he can be there for their quarterback for the next 10 years the way he played, as long as he stay consistent. And Aaron, this is his last year anyway. I think he's out there having fun. So it's a win-win for everybody, and it was a great game, and I'm happy to see Justin Fields perform the way he did.
Pittsburgh offensively in the second half lit it up, scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter. The Jets were able to score with Justin Fields on a quarterback run to the end zone, right pylon. But Aaron Rodgers stepped up where it mattered most. This was a lot of mixed emotions coming in for Aaron Rodgers, playing against his former team that he was with last year. Everyone in the organization quitted on him. Aaron Glenn made Aaron Rodgers fly all the way to New Jersey to meet with him, just to tell him that your services are no longer needed, and Aaron Rodgers' era with the New York Jets was over. That left a bad taste in his mouth, and Aaron Rodgers even said it in his post-game press conference that he was just happy to be everybody that is a part of the New York Jets organization, and that's including owner Woody Johnson. So, yes, the Jets dominated in a lot of different areas. They led Pittsburgh in total yards. Jets had 394 total yards. They led the led the Steelers in the first down category with 23-19. But Aaron Rodgers was able to do what he does best, and that's get the ball in places where a lot of other quarterbacks can't do it. I mean, if you just look at his play where he's the play action pass rolling to the right, he's got 2 Jets defenders in his face. He throws that laser dart right to the end zone for a touchdown. That's just a glimpse of what's to come. And I think when you add a guy like Jalen Ramsey and what he was able to do in that late game with that game-winning deflection hit on Garrett Wilson, that's the DNA that the Steelers defense possesses. And adding a guy like Jabril Peppers, who's coming in 29 years old, who's had a really good last few years for the New England Patriots, that makes the Steelers defense that much more better. And this is a Steelers team that, in my opinion, will make the playoffs. They will be a wild card team. I think Baltimore locks up that division. But with all the trade allegations, I don't know how true it is or what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill. We know his time in Miami is slowly coming to an end. I would like to see Pittsburgh go out and make a trade for Tyreek Hill. I think adding a guy like that, with that caliber of player, for this offense for Aaron Rodgers gives him another weapon along with DK Metcalf, putting Tyreek Hill in the slot. It just makes the Steelers offense that much more explosive. The Steelers are already in a win-now mode. They wouldn't have got Aaron Rodgers if they weren't in a win-now mode. So adding DK Metcalf, adding Aaron Rodgers with of course, this may be his last run. Why not go out with a bang? Why not put all your chips on the table as you already is and go and get Tyreek Hill? We shall see. But congratulations to Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1-0, moving on, and the Jets look to recover. But Jets fans, don't be happy. I'm sorry, don't be mad at your week 1 performance. You have to be happy with what you saw on the offensive side. You saw your running game look damn sure good with Bryce Hall, was able to get in the end zone, rush over 100 yards. Those things you just piggyback going into preparation week, going into week 2. And I expect the Jets to get a win this upcoming Sunday. And we shall see. Woo! Bills and Ravens, Brian. Now, look, let's just be honest. I had the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. This is a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Yes, Mark Andrews did drop that pass. That was damn sure going to win the game. Derrick Henry, I have some questions, right? When I look back at this game, offensively, the Baltimore Ravens showed me that they will be in a Super Bowl this year, hands down. Zay Flowers got in the end zone. Mark Andrews was able to be effective. The running game was pretty much unstoppable throughout the game. Derrick Henry couldn't be stopped. Turning point for me in this game, Bryant, that's Derrick Henry fumbling the football. That was a turning point for me. But also on that 4th down, 4th and 2, for Coach Harbaugh to punt the ball back to Josh Allen after that Bills offense consecutively drive after drive was able to move the ball effectively and put points on the board. You don't want to put the Bills in a position where Josh Allen's already hot to go down the field to go win the game. Fumbling hurt them. But on 4th and 2, Brian, you're a head coach at John Harbaugh. You got to go for it. You got Lamar Jackson who has dangerous legs. He can run, and you got arguably the best running back when the game is on the line, and that's Derrick Henry. Why not go for it on 4th and 2? Give me your takeaway from the Ravens' loss on the road against the Buffalo Bills.
See, I'm not going to put it in that perspective. In that situation, you got to go for it, just so you can seal the deal. The game, the hindsight is 20/20. You don't know what can happen. Just like this fumble, you have no idea. But defensively, you can't give up 38 points. You just can't. You're 38, you're down 38, you're up 40-38 in the 4th quarter. I mean, defensively, come on. If you could score 40 points, you're supposed to win that game. The score should be 40-14, 40-21. You got 40-38. Anything can happen at that point, and it did. So you can't blame, and he blamed himself for that fumble. You can't blame the coach for sitting there saying that you should go for it on 4th and 2 in a tight situation like that to win the game. No, man, play defense for 4 quarters and shut teams down and stop them from scoring so many damn points. That game was not lost right there. That game was lost defensively. He gave up too many damn points and opportunities for my man to score unbelievable 44 points in fantasy football. Like, it's insane. On your first freaking week, that's just pure insanity. And I lost because of that. I just got blown out. I was like, yeah, that don't make no damn sense that you give up that many points to Allen. It just, come on. So what, this Baltimore is known for a great defensive team, and they just blew an egg defensively.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, and you're talking about offensively, they this and that. They fumble here. Where's the freaking defense?
Good point you bring up, Brian, because the Bills were able to rally from 16 points down to come back and get the win. But let's just point this out. Ravens were up 34-19 in the 3rd quarter. They then scored to go up 40-25 with 11:42 left in the 4th quarter. At this point, you would think the game is over, or at least if you manage the game, it's over. Right. Josh Allen was able to turn on the Jets and bring the Bills back to not also get within striking distance, but to win the game, to lead them down the field for a game-winning field goal to make it 41-40. I mean, Josh Allen, 33 of 46, 394 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, receiving Keon Coleman, who I passed up in fantasy. What a jackass I am. Had a game of his life, 8 receptions, 112 yards, got in the end zone. But when you got Derrick Henry rushing for 169 yards rushing, and you got Zay Flowers, who had 7 receptions for 143 yards receiving and a touchdown, you don't lose that game. When you have a player that has over 100 yards rushing and another player that has over 100 yards receiving, with the game that Lamar Jackson played, throwing 2 touchdown passes, being effective on his feet, rushing for 70 yards, there's no way John Harbaugh, as the head coach of his Ravens team, allow your team to lose in that way, in stunning fashion and stunning defeat against the team that you lost to in the AFC Championship game last year. I'm sorry, the AFC Division Round game. That doesn't happen. I'm sure this week during film, Lamar Jackson's got to be killing himself. Derrick Henry's got to be killing himself because they couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him. Derrick Henry was able to do what he wanted, when he wanted, however he wanted, and during the first all 4 quarters. So the Ravens have to bounce back. I'm disappointed in the way they lost because I tell you what, I'll be honest. I went to bed. The Ravens were winning. I woke up the next morning. The Bills, I'm like, the Bills won? What the hell? I had to go back and watch where I fell asleep at in the fourth quarter. I had to watch the whole fourth quarter.
So I'm glad you did because I didn't. I just the collapse, the defensive collapse. Just just what it is.
Yeah.
Just what
Ravens. I don't know. Ravens will look to bounce back this upcoming Sunday at home against the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, of course, lost last Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals 17-16. Ravens, I expect them to be pissed off and come out and play a damn sure better game on defense because allowing Buffalo to score 40 plus points is just atrocious with everything that we talk about the Baltimore Ravens and all the hype that we talked about on how they look defensively on paper, and that just not coming to fruition on Sunday night, which was a damn sure good game. So congrats to the Bills, 1-0. Moving on, and that is to college football. Another public service announcement. I apologize, America. I apologize deeply. I said the Michigan Wolverines, this is their first true road game of the year, first true test for Bryce Underwood on the road under the bright lights. It's a primetime game on ABC at Oklahoma. Oklahoma putting up 41 points against Illinois State in week 1. Oklahoma defense was able to hold Illinois State 3 points to walk away with the win. But 24-13 was your final. Oklahoma with the win at home. Bryce Underwood made some freshman mistakes that I know kills me watching because I can only imagine what it's like for him watching this on film. I thought Bryant, one of the things that really disappointed me, and that just comes with his experience, lack of experience in this game, lack of reading defenses on a college level. There was a particular play in the fourth quarter. He had the wheel route with Klein going down the field, and he jumped early with that pass to I want to say, I don't remember which receiver it was at the particular time, but I said if he would have just waited another second, he's got a touchdown in Michigan. We're right back in the game. But what was your reaction with the performance of Bryce Underwood in week 2 on the road against Oklahoma? And give me your takeaway from Michigan's defeat, 24-13, losing on the road to your Boomer Sooners.
But they're just young. You can tell they're young all the way around. The offensive line is not as physical and big and strong like they used to be. You can tell it's a whole new staff they got going on over there. So Bryce is basically, he's a baby, 18 years old, 18, 19. 19 years old. It's hard to have a 19-year-old come in there at the college level and expect him to produce and dominate. And they're number 15 in the country. You got a lot of talent over there. It's just underdeveloped right now at this point. Now, this group here stay together for another year or two. Whew, they're going to be smoking. But right now, this is just a growing pain. With all the penalties they have going against them as well. This is something that just got to fight through this year and maintain a 10-2 type season or 9-3 type season. What I expect for them. But to me, they look solid, as good as they can be because of the youth. Can't beat youth. That's what it is. I think Oklahoma front seven defensively is a bitch. Their first half, there's nothing I can say. You had every gap was filled. They just couldn't run the ball. It just can't do it. It just couldn't do it. They just that talented. They're so fast. They're not Florida State fast, but they're good.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah, they're very, very good. And I was impressed by them defensively, no question.
Yeah, Michigan's offense got things going in that third quarter, scoring 13 points in the third. Defensively, we did give up a touchdown. But I had no complaints from Justin Hayes, who I was preaching to the choir with in week 1. He had another good week this week, I should say, 19 carries, 125 yards, rush on the ground, 1 touchdown. This will be one of the seasons where we will just have to get better with time. The offensive line will have to get better with time. Bryce Underwood will have to get better with time. Donovan McCulley, I have no issues with him receiving 3 receptions, 91 yards. I need to see more from Samaj Morgan. He is our veteran, our wide receiver who's come back from that national championship team. I need to see more of him. I need him and Bryce to get on the same page and be more effective offensively. But this will be a growing pain type of season. But our public service announcement, I'm with Bryce Underwood till the wheels fall off. I think his progression throughout the year will be important in terms of his development. But as Bryant said, year 2, by year 3, with him being a junior for Michigan Wolverines, I mean, Michigan at that point should be the favorite to win it all again, because no question Bryce Underwood's going to have a bright future for Michigan Wolverines. No question he's going to be the best college football quarterback in the entire country. Write it down twice because I said it. And we shall see. Michigan will look to bounce back this upcoming Saturday at home against Central Michigan. I expect us to beat the dog shit out of them. Yes, I said it. I'm going to go on the record and say again, Michigan will win against Central Michigan at home. We now have dropped to the ranked 23 in the country with the new AP poll that came out this week. So interested to see what will happen with Michigan this season. But in Bryce Underwood, we trust. Go Blue. Bryant, early SEC matchup we finally get to see, and that is number 6 Georgia on the road against number 15 Tennessee. We get to see Kirby Smart and what this Georgia team actually looks like. I'm excited for this game. Another true SEC matchup on the road for Georgia. I like Georgia to come out with the win, but Tennessee's been impressive so far to start the year, Bryant. Number 6 versus number 15. Who you got on Saturday?
There's 2 juggernauts this game can go either way, man. It can go either way. It depends on which team come out the hungriest. Tennessee is, when I play against Alvin Harper back in those days, there's a tough team. It's a toughness when you're playing against Tennessee. So Georgia's playing in that dome is like playing in a hot box. You can't breathe in it. It's tough to play there. So either way it goes, it's a 50-50 ball game for me. I wouldn't bet on this one. I would stay away from it because you just don't know. I think it's going to be like a 1 or 2 point game win for either team. So I can't pick on this one.
Yeah.
I got to pick them.
Okay, no problem. Georgia is coming in as the 8-point favorite right now. If I'm a betting man, I'm taking Tennessee to cover. This will be a tight game between the two. Offensively, Georgia isn't as explosive yet as what we've seen in years past from Kirby Smart. I mean, right now they're ranked 36 in the country and overall offensive display, averaging 454 yards a game so far this year, 240 passing. I mean, Georgia, that's not an explosive offense. It's not the Kirby Smart offense that we've seen where they go out and score 48 points in 4 quarters. Tennessee, they're 2-0, rightfully so. And defensively, Tennessee's got a pretty good defense this year. But this is a really good test for both teams. These two teams, I'm sure could possibly see each other later on in the year. We'll get to see that this Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. Look forward to that. I'm going with the Georgia Bulldogs on the road. Now, Bryant, we talked about the Florida Gators. Billy Napier is officially fired. He's still the head coach, but he's losing his job after this year. There's no way he's come back. Georgia can run the table for the rest. I'm sorry, Florida can run the table for the rest of the year. Billy Napier is gone. There's no way at home last week you lose to South Florida. There's no way. And then losing to them by a field goal to lose the game in final seconds. Florida on the road against number 3 LSU. Brian Kelly, we get to see what this team looks like after a win on the road against Clemson. Give me your pick. Who you got winning?
Whew. You know what? This is what's the term I used to use for games that basically you expectations. The next thing you know, it's called a trap game. This is the biggest trap game that you've ever seen. This is such a trap game for LSU because you think mentally the name just beat Florida. The name South Florida just beat Florida. But you have to understand, you don't know what South Florida have in this NIL era. You just don't. Because now, like I said, any team can beat anybody with NIL. They can be financially loaded over there. We don't know. But Florida, if you go in there and you sit there, you bet LSU, and you got Kelly over there, sometimes mentally, just because that happened, you get trapped in a situation and you playing from behind. So to say that Florida is going to lose this game, I can't say it. I have my buddy over there. That's I forgot the titles that they have going on now in college football is Nick Pope, and he pretty much runs the show over there with I guess with the hiring of coaches or whatever it may be and player personnel. I haven't spoken to him, but I think Florida's pissed. I'm dead serious. I saw the coaches that came back in that tunnel after that. The South Florida is jacked straight up in the air. They think they can run the table. Florida is deflated after that game. I think you lit an ignition into their ass.
Yep,
it's a trap game for LSU.
It is.
And they better be careful because Florida will go come in there and put a whooping on their ass if they don't wake up.
Yeah, DJ Lagway will play a good game against LSU, the quarterback for the Florida Gators. I mean, right now, ESPN has LSU with a 61.6 chance to win this game. Florida only coming in at 38.4. This will be a really good game. Primetime game, 7:30 on ABC, number 3 team in the country. Now, Brian Kelly's got LSU where they want to be. That's top 5 team in the country, 2-0. At home, that place is going to be a zoo on Saturday. And Florida, they better come out playing lights out because Billy Napier's job, safe to say, he fired after last week, but lose another game in the SEC like a team against LSU and see what happens. I mean, he's been on thin thread for the last few years for Florida. I'm sure fans have had their patience, but get to catch that 7:30 Eastern time on ABC primetime. Number 16, Texas A&M on the road against number 8, Notre Dame. Bryant, give me your quick pick who you got to win because this is another game where we need to see Notre Dame bounce back after, of course, losing week 1 against Miami on the road, but was able to bounce back last week. What do you got winning this game here Saturday?
I got Notre Dame. They just a talented team, and I don't see them losing too many almost back-to-back games during their seasons. If they're going to lose one, they lose one in an extended first week, and then maybe the next time they lose one is week 8 or 9. I don't see them losing games in between. They've never done it before. I don't think they get ready to start. I think they're much better than Texas A&M, and I got them winning that game. Maybe possibly by between 3 and 7 points. I give them a 5-point margin win.
I got Notre Dame to win at home as well. I'm taking them with the money line. If you're a betting person, stay away from the spread. This could potentially be a close game, but we shall see. It's now time for episode 31's Coach Gar's Hot Take. Let's see what he's got to say this week, folks.
You're talking about Chicago Bears, right? And everybody is sitting there talking about Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams lost the game. Yada, yada, yada. You're putting the ownership on Caleb Williams. Look, everyone on that staff and team is at fault here. Everybody. It's just the whole team. Everyone. You came out of that game hot and on fire. But then the second half, you forgot how to play. And this is why. In the first half, the Bears could not rush at all. They had a total of 53 rushing yards the entire game. So now you're forcing Caleb to make plays. Yeah, he has miscues. Yeah, he has a new coaching staff. Everything's new again. And he's forcing plays, and he's hesitating. He's not sure where receivers are going to be, et cetera, et cetera. And you expect him to make yet another rookie mistake because, this is the second year, but it's his second year with a new staff again. So to me, in my mind, he's a rookie with new plays and a new system, and everything's new again. So he's hesitating. But the biggest thing is that The Bears' offensive line, listen to this stat. 6'3", left tackle, 300. 6'4", 303. 6'5", 301. 6'4", 308. And your right tackle, probably the best one from Tennessee, is 6'6", 338. You have a mid-major offensive line in college. Who in the hell are you going to beat this year with that type of offensive line? Nobody. They can pass protect a little bit, but they can't run block for shit. And no one's saying anything because this is a passing league. Guess what? You're not going to win games with passing the ball 70, 80% of the damn time. You got to run this shit. You know, and you have a good running back there that's not even – he hasn't rushed over 100 yards. I can't remember the last time. You can't expect to win games if you can't run the ball. It's just that goddamn simple. You sit there, Flores, he sat there and made a halftime adjustment. And everybody said, oh, he did a fantastic job. Guess what? Everyone has stat sheets at the halftime. You sit there and say, hey, they got 30 yards rushing, but they're scoring all off of their passing. You had a quarterback that had, 1 or 2 touchdowns by rushing because he's scrambling to score. Other than that, they're putting the ball in the air. Guess what? Let's come after their ass because we stopped them on the ground. And that's exactly what they did. They blitzed the shit out of him. They made him go through hurry up. He had panic mode. He was throwing errant balls. He didn't see receivers that was wide open. Big mistake because we can't run the goddamn football. Let's see what happens this week because I am totally disturbed by our running offense. It's non-existent. You have to give the man the ball and create lanes for him. There are 0 lanes, and if you want to sit there and throw a football, just pick your ass up, Chicago Bears, and take your ass to Canada. Right, Chris? To Canada and play Canadian football because that's some bullshit what I saw last week. And that's my update.
I'll piggyback just a little bit. I'll chime in from this Monday night game. DeAndre Swift only having 53 yards rushing. That's something that shouldn't happen. But as Bryant touched on, the offensive line is a little bit soft. Caleb Williams had to rush had to get involved in the rushing game, also putting up 58 yards rushing. But offensively, I thought Ben Johnson in the second half got away from what was working in the first half. The adjustment that Brian Flores made in the second half wasn't that much extraordinary. It's just that Ben Johnson didn't have a counterpunch to the adjustment that Brian Flores made. And what people don't understand is that Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. So when you had a guy like Dan Campbell that's a head coach that's experienced, that's able to do the things that you're not be able to do from a mental standpoint because you're just focused on the offense and worry about the next possession and the next drive and the next play, being a head coach is something totally different. And this is a learning experience, learning curve for Ben Johnson. But let's just call it for what it is. The Chicago Bears don't have another season in them where this is going to be a learning experience. You brought in Ben Johnson to make this offense better, to make Caleb Williams better, to make DJ Moore better, to give more carries to DeAndre Swift, to make him effective out of the backfield in the passing game. But Chicago Bears had 12 penalties in this game. They shot themselves in the foot, allowing 127 yards in penalties. That's not going to win you a football game. They were 3-12 on third down. That's not going to win you a football game. And yet the Minnesota Vikings were able to come out in the fourth quarter, score 21 points. J.J. McCarthy first half threw a pick six. A play that I'm sure he wish he can get back. Welcome to the NFL, kid. Rookie year, was out. First start at a Minnesota Viking. Got Adam Thielen back. This is like perfect spot to be in. You got Aaron Jones is back in the backfield for Minnesota. But J.J. McCarthy looked like dog shit. 6 points only got him down the field in the second quarter, 2 field goals. It was 10-6 at half. 10-6 at half. Second half, third quarter, Vikings couldn't do nothing. Chicago was able to get off the field on third down, but they couldn't capitalize in the third quarter, but they did score one. But in the fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy just turned it up. 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson getting in the end zone. You had Aaron Jones getting in the end zone for a touchdown. That's 14 points. And you had J.J. McCarthy go rush for one. That's 21. So fourth quarter, Chicago didn't have anything to piggyback against that in the fourth quarter defensively. And offensively, at that point, they couldn't get anything going offensively. They couldn't get into a rhythm. Ben Johnson play calling. The gas just had already run out at that point. Minnesota was able to walk into Chicago and sneak out of there with a win. Sneak out of it. It didn't play that much glorifying in this game. They just were able to make Chicago pay. Chicago's got to improve and stop giving up these damn penalties. The offensive line's got to get tougher. And if I'm Ben Johnson going into week 2 next week, you got to get DeAndre Swift more involved. You got to be able to get him going. Get the run game going. What does that do? That's opened up the pass game and the play action for DJ Moore. That gives Caleb Williams the confidence to make better decisions and throwing the football. And Chicago's got to do that if they want to win week 2. And that's my piggyback off Coach Gard's hot take. Go ahead.
But you have to take the damn points too as a coach. You got to manage the game at the end there when you should have kicked the damn ball out of bounds so that you don't lose no time off the clock. Shit like that. That's why I said it's all of them. You can't make adjustments if you can't run the ball. There are no adjustments if you can't run the fucking football. It's just what it is. So figure this out. Get it right. Everybody. Coaches, players, everyone. Managers, trainers, get it right because it was all wrong 100%. Stop putting the ownership on Caleb Williams, even though I think right now I'm on the fence with him. I think he needs to stop painting his damn nails and become a man and grow some balls and play some football.
Well, I wouldn't put all of this loss on Caleb Williams, but Bryant, I do have to make a suggestion to you. Maybe you can help them out going into week 2. You're playing the Detroit Lions on the road in Detroit. Now, we know what Detroit looked like in week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. Offensively, they weren't able to get it done. Defensively, they couldn't stop Jordan Love in that passing game from Green Bay. But Ben Johnson's coming back to a team he used to coach for. That's the Detroit Lions. What do you expect from Chicago this Sunday against Detroit? Do you see the Bears getting a win?
Always we're gonna win every game. That's just where I'm coming from.
Now, be realistic.
But realistically, I don't think you can correct that offensive line in a matter of 3 days. It's just what it is. The smallest, tiniest, weakest offensive line I've seen at an NFL level. Tempo right now is bigger in the offensive line than the Bears. I couldn't believe it when I saw the stat line. Tempo is 6'5", 310, 315, 320 across the board. The Bears are smaller than that. I'm like, who the hell? Ryan Poles? I'm getting close to firing your ass because by this time you should have an offensive line that's dominating, and they're not doing it yet. 53 yards is inexcusable. Figure it the hell out.
Bears will look to even this record at 1-1 this Sunday. 1:00 Eastern on CBS on the road against the Detroit Lions. Ben Johnson's coming back to Detroit. Let's see what he has planned up offensively for Caleb Williams against Detroit's defense. And my New England Patriots are on the road this Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, who we should beat, who we will beat, who we need to beat, because the Dolphins might just be the worst team in the NFL when it's all said and done. Catch that action 1 p.m. on CBS. Bryant, any final words signing off episode 31?
I don't have any final words. I got a lot of drama going on in my cycle, in my life, all over the place. And adding football to it makes me even more agitated. Almost like that damn commercial with the bing, boom, boom. That's how my ass is. I'm all over the damn place. And I'm amazed that I was able to finish this segment and just kind of split that to the side and come right the fuck back. But I'm back. I'm here. It helped me. Now I got to go upstairs and pull my fucking hair out and sit there and think about this nonsense some more. But I'm going to get it done. And when I do, I'm back in office.
Let's go. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at @TheRewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all social media platforms at @TheRewind_GSC3. Yes, no rewind of the week this week. Yes, no floss and moss this week. But I promise you, I promise you, as the great words McLean say, I promise you, it's coming back next week. We got 2 special guests coming on. I want to give a special thank you to my brother Chris and his lovely Dallas Cowboys for the work that he does, 1990 Studios, each and every week, helping this brain get better, helping the platform get better, helping the rewind get better. Yes, he's an Ohio State Buckeye fan. Yes, they put up 70 points last week, 70-0. Who cares? You're supposed to do that. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys have the opportunity to be 1-1 this Sunday against the New York Giants, but it's been a great episode. Tameka Dixon, the WNBA legend, WNBA champion. Thanks for coming on. Bryant, Monty, sign off. Episode 31. Enjoy the college football games this Saturday. Enjoy NFL Sunday, week 2.
Good luck, Owls. Good luck.
Temple versus Oklahoma this Saturday.
Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me.